Hello, boys and girls. How are you? My name is Anuj Panwar. I am 24 years old, and I would like to talk about how did I become an investment banker, or probably land a core finance job in a big investment bank such as Goldman Sachs without having any particular core financial degree or without having a master's or MBA. But before I start with the video, I would like to disclose my credentials to add certain credibility of what I'm going to tell you. So, I will, since I am not a very good editor, I will be adding all the relevant links in the description below. So you can check them out. You can check, or you can also mail me in the email address which I have mentioned in the description itself. And you can come with your query or your question or any criticism would be welcome as well. So yeah. So I completed my graduation in 2019 in mathematics from Shahid Bhagat Singh College, University of Delhi, and I have also done my diploma in international business and operations from IGNU. I did that because I came from a humanities background, so I did not have the accounting knowledge and did not have the knowledge of business studies because I did not study those subjects. So, and apart from that, I've also completed level 1 of FRM, which is a financial risk management course of GARP Institute. If you haven't heard about it, I'll put it in the description. You can check it out. So I've attached my LinkedIn as well for your reference. So yeah. So the first topic that I would like to talk about is that my educational qualifications are pretty ordinary if you see, because I've done my graduation from University of Delhi. A lot of people do that. I've done my diploma from IGNU, which is very easy to get, and I've only done level 1 of FRM. If I would have done both the levels, then it would have made sense. But then how did I start working as a trading analyst, especially in the global markets division of Goldman Sachs? So I can answer that question for you. So it's going to be a little long video, so I hope you bear with me. I'm also simultaneously, I've noted it somewhere so that I do not forget any points. Okay, so the journey starts from my college days, just like majority of you, as I was still confused. I wasn't sure what to pursue and in which specific field should I start working. So what I did was I started working as intern in a lot of different places. I worked as an intern in a couple of startups in the sales and operations department, and I found that that wasn't my cup of tea. And after that, in my second year, I was able to land an internship in Niti Aayog. If none of you know what Niti Aayog is, it's a government agency or a government organization which works towards the economic development and the holistic political development as well of the nation. It mainly focuses on the economic development and the financial development. So yeah, I worked in Niti Aayog, and I worked as a public-private partnership intern itself, where we worked on understanding the holistic development of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and we worked on understanding the finance and the economics behind it. So yeah, that was just 1 month internship, and to be very honest, since I would like to ensure 100% transparency, I worked. I got that internship from my father because it's a very difficult internship to get. It's a very big certificate that you should have. So I got that internship from my father because my father knew someone in Niti Aayog, so he helped me landed the internship. And after that, after completing my graduation, I worked as an intern again in a company called as Social Alpha, which is a subsidiary of Tata Trust, which is a VC fund for all the startups who are working for the betterment of the disadvantaged community. So yeah, so there goes my educational background. So yeah, in Social Alpha, my journey for finance actually started. So what I was doing back then. So I remember a friend of my mother. She is an SRCC alumni, so she is in the SRCC alumni group, and the Social Alpha internship got posted there. And my mother just forwarded it to me, and I went for it. And they were looking for someone with good understanding of Excel, and they were also looking for someone with the good communication skills. And I believed I had the latter, and I learned the former pretty much the hard way. So yeah, I got selected there, and there my work was doing certain cash flow modeling. And please don't be scared by cash flow modeling. I do not mean any of those hard technical skills जो आपको करनी होती है, that you have to, applying these crazy formulas that I do not want to get into. I simply mean that अगर मतलब इससे सिंपल आपने सोचा भी नहीं होगा कि बेसिकली अगर एक पॉजिटिव और एक नेगेटिव एंट्री है तो उसको आप एक्सेल में कैसे डिफरेंशिएट करोगे. एक्सेल में नेगेटिव एंट्री ब्रैकेट में होती है और पॉजिटिव में कोई साइन नहीं होता. इतना सिंपल था. और बस मुझे ऐसे टर्म्स का मतलब पता होना चाहिए था. इन्वेंट्री, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, मतलब बेसिक बेसिक अकाउंटिंग टर्म्स जिसके लिए आपको फाइनेंस पढ़ने की भी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. तो हाँ, वहाँ से आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग. एंड देन मेरी जब इंटर्नशिप ख़त्म हुई, मेरी इंटर्नशिप चली फॉर 5 months. आई स्टार्टेड इंटर्निंग इन नवंबर 2019. आई ग्रेजुएटेड इन जुलाई. एंड देन आई वर्कड टिल March 2020. उसके बाद आई डिसाइडेड दैट फाइनेंस इज़ द प्लेस वेयर आई वांट टू वर्क. But so I made my CV accordingly. I had 2 solid internships in finance. I had 2 prior internships as well, and I was ready to go. But the only problem was I had to apply off campus for jobs. I did not get a single job on campus because mathematics honors, Delhi University, you don't expect jobs, please. You know, and Shahid Bhagat Singh, no disrespect, but it's not a top college. It isn't a bottom college, but it is not a top college. So no placements came. So I started looking outside. I started looking at platforms such as LinkedIn, Naukri, Indeed. I registered myself. And the problem was I created a very good CV, but I wasn't getting one single call. Like, I wasn't even getting shortlisted for interviews. Matlab, I got so frustrated. I was so sad, so disheartened. My parents used to yell at me every single day that why don't you take any other job? Why don't you take a job in ops or in sales? Because you're just sitting at home getting fatter. I used to feel so fucking pathetic about myself. And I wanted to work in finance only because that was the main, because I knew, because if I wanted to do a 9 to 5, I wanted to do it in finance. It was just plain simple for me because I've kind of found it fascinating like every other student does in today's world. So what I did was I started preparing cold messages on LinkedIn with a friend of mine. I prepared a cold text on LinkedIn requesting the existing employees of the big financial companies to probably give me a referral for a data level entry job. I approached my relatives. I even approached my friends, cousins, even my mother's friends. I mailed everyone. I cold mailed. I used to mail 20 to 50 people each and every day, and I must have mailed 500 to 1000 people, and I only got replies from 10 to 15, out of which 80% replies were sorry, there are no jobs. Rest I just got left on scene, and just that is it. Nothing more happened. Okay. Yeah. So I was already on my confidence level was here, like literally here. It was completely taken aback. And I remember there was a, so my cousin brother, he's from ISB, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. For those of you who do not know, it's a top college. And I remember asking him for a referral, and he gave a number to me of his classmate. She was director at a fintech startup. I will not name the startup. You can just go on my LinkedIn and see it. So I texted her on LinkedIn as well, and I texted her in June 2020, and I got a reply in November 2020. After 4-5 months after that, stating that she accidentally did not see my message, and if I was still interested in a data level entry job in a fintech startup. And I saw the JD, and the JD was core finance. And I fucking knew that I finally got an opportunity. I had an interview and I wasn't going to miss it. I fucking studied for it. I studied so hard. I got all the common sense logical questions. I studied topics related to cash flow ratios, related to securitization. I gave 4 interviews, out of which 2 were technical, 1 was managerial, and 1 was director. I got selected for a data level job. I started working in the field of securitization. For those of you who do not know, securitization is a very simple process of converting these different types of loans that a bank lends into liquid bonds. So converting these illiquid bonds into tradable liquid securities, that is simple securitization. This does not happen in India, but it happens in outside countries where there is a huge chunk of loans that these banks have on their books. They want to lighten their books, so they characterize them, they make pools out of it, and they sell it to other people. They sell it to investors, and investors subscribe them and get a margin out of that. Anyways, that is a different topic altogether. Securitization is the word. You can simply Google it, you'll get a very detailed description. So yeah, but when I initially entered, I felt everyone was fucking so smart than me. I felt I will not be able to handle any of this. I even thought of quitting it within a month or two, because I remember my manager bashing at me in the first month of the job itself, stating that I'm not understanding the work, and I got so scared. So instead of letting this opportunity go, I started to increase my financial acumen. I started reading CFA Level 1 books, although I wasn't at all interested in doing CFA, but I read topics around derivative hedging, around securitization, around important portfolio metrics such as LTV, which is loan to advance ratio, concentration limits, eligibility criteria that can probably occur in a portfolio, then what is a borrowing base of a collateral, or what is a borrowing base from a trustee's perspective, what are leveraged loans, what are leveraged bonds, what are non-performing loans, non-performing bonds. I studied all of that simply out of Google. I used to search them, I used to try and understand. If I did not understand, I used to watch videos. So within 6 months I was able to grasp everything, and I was on top of my work. I worked so good that since my CTC was very low when I started, it was only 3.2 lakhs or something. I got 100% raise in just 1 year in December 2022, and my fixed CTC jumped from 3.2 to 6 lakhs straight away. And then I decided to do my diploma, just to have a better grip on business studies and accounting. And then I decided that FRM is something that I want to do and I want to consider. I decided that in the early year of 2022 itself, in like February or March. But as you know about Gen Zs, they do not, they are very restless. And so am I. So I would not lie to you. I understood the process and I got bored of the job. I got bored of the monotonicity of it. I got bored of the simplicity. Like it was very repetitive. And within 12 to 14 months, I started looking for a switch. And the day I remember, I was into the office, I was very dejected and I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was feeling I'm kind of wasting my time, being impatient as all the Gen Zs of today's world are. And I remember a cake getting cut, and there was a colleague of mine and she was in a different team and it was her farewell. So I, being very curious, I went to her and I straight away asked where is she heading towards, and she said Goldman Sachs. And when she said Goldman Sachs, my mouth literally watered, and I bluntly begged her literally for a referral when she joins that company, and she said okay. So she referred into another team, which was the trading analytics department in the global markets division, where they handle securitized deals only, and where they work as a senior lender in the securitized process. And the role was much more technical. It included a lot of financial risk aspects. It included Tableau, it included SQL and Alteryx, using all of those tools. And I did not have one single knowledge about them. Although I knew SQL, I had done courses, but I hadn't applied them, to be very honest. But I remember still saying yes to an interview once I got a call from the HR if I was interested in the relevant opportunity, and I started studying. But to be very honest, neither the FRM got me into this job, nor the diploma in international business and operations got me this job. I simply got this job because of my work-ex in a fintech startup, because of the way I molded that work-ex, and I used that work-ex to adjust accordingly to the job description that Goldman Sachs had provided, and I updated my CV accordingly. The fact that I was preparing for FRM level 1, that increased my chances a little bit in the interviews itself. My ability to decode English statements, like legit legal agreements, my ability to decode these English agreements and write them in Excel formulas. Like if there's a 5-sentence definition of loan to advance ratio and thresholds in a legal agreement, my ability to understand that and write it in an Excel, these three things, and my knowledge regarding structured products of CDOs and CLOs. So these are the 4 or 5 primary things that got me a job into Goldman. It was not my education, it was simply my prior work-ex. And how did I get my prior work-ex? By being fucking patient, by being miserable, but by being patient, and by taking my chances, by cold emailing, by cold calling, by doing everything that I can, and by being absolutely dead sure and confident and nail my interviews. That is how I got into my fintech startup. And due to the fintech work-ex, I got into Goldman Sachs. So yeah, I will also put a summary of this in the description. And if you think any of this information is relevant, and if you want a sample of the cold message that I used to give, ping to my LinkedIn connections, or the emails that I used to send, you can just mail me on the email address mentioned in the description. and I'll be happy to provide you a free sample. Like, I will not be, of course, charging, because I do not have the credibility. I'm just here to provide information to every restless kid who wants a job in finance. And in case I get a good response in this, I will also be making a detailed message on what all topics to study, how to work on a resume, how to mold it according to the job description, how to make your employers believe that you are the one that has the right skill set, that they can leverage you. And it does not matter. Your background does not matter. Trust me, it does not matter. And I'm 24, and yeah, so I'm working as a trading analyst in Goldman Sachs, and my fixed CTC is very good. It's definitely way higher than of my peers. I'm not saying it is as good as people who have done their post grads from like from IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, or Chennai, but it's way par. Like, trust me, it's definitely comes in the righter side of the probability distribution. So yeah, thank you so much, and have a good night. Bye bye.